You know, if you're not a fan of the Dodgers, free agency has been pretty boring. It's been very lackluster to this point. And the Dodgers, they're in the mix for everything. They've got Ohtani. They made this big trade. They might get Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The Dodgers truly do run Major League Baseball. We're talking about the trade that went down. It's been rumored for a couple of days now, that involving Tyler Glasnow as the big chip from the Tampa Bay Rays. Tyler Glasnow and Manuel Margot are headed to Los Angeles, to the Dodgers, for Ryan Pepiot and Johnny DeLuca. They're going over to Tampa Bay. And this trade, instant thoughts, great for the Dodgers. We'll talk about their issues that they have at the starting pitcher spot. Very dramatic. I mean, in Hollywood, they're no less. There's a lot of stuff going on with that roster, and you know, this is definitely going to help, or at least it should, because in part, they're adding in a pitcher, which has been part of their problem, guys that can't stay on the field. We'll talk about Tyler Glasnow right here. And first and foremost, why did this trade happen? Very simple. The Rays are cheap. They refuse to spend any money. Tyler Glasnow was set to make $25 million in arbitration this year, and afterwards he was going to be an unrestricted free agent. So they didn't see really being able to pay him. They didn't want to bring him back long term. So it is a good decision then to get something for him. And I do like the two players that they did get back. And then Manuel Margot, also a bit of a salary dump. He, of course, not quite as prestigious as Tyler Glasnow, but he can fill in for an outfield role. They've got a couple aging vets in that outfield for the Dodgers, but the Rays are going to shed $10 million on his deal, so $35 million coming off the books for Tampa in total. And Tyler Glasnow, what to talk about him? Well, I'll start with three numbers: 21, 2, and 14. That's a combination of 37, doing math on the fly. 37 starts that he's had in the last 3 seasons, so a bit more than one full season's work in the last 3 for Glasnow. And that's because he had elbow issues in 2021. He had Tommy John surgery in 2022. And this past season, it was his healthiest in the last couple. He had 21 starts, but he had oblique problems to start the year, and he didn't end up pitching that much. But when he did, he was good. In 2023, he had a 3.53 ERA. He's particularly great at strikeouts, 12.2 K per 9 against a 2.8 BB9, all adding to a FIP under 3, which is really good metrics, of course. Glasnow is a 3-pitch pony. He's got the fastball, the slider, and the curveball, and good velocity, good break on the breaking pitches result in a high strikeout pitcher. And as long as he can keep that under control and keep the home runs down, which he did last year, I believe his home run per 9 mark was set at about 1, which is really good. You're going to have a very nice pitcher as long as he can stay on the field. And that's the big problem with Tyler Glasnow, who has a very unfortunate surname, unfortunately for him. So all in all, we're talking about a guy, 8 years, 529 inning pitched within those 8 seasons as a Major League Baseball player. He's been very good when he's been healthy. We'll just have to see if that will stick. Manuel Margot, briefly, I mean, pretty clear what he is, what he isn't. He's an average hitter that can give you spurts. I look at him a lot like a Jackie Bradley Jr. He's an above average glove, but not a whole lot more than that, really. I mean, it's all salary when it comes to the Tampa Bay Rays there, and they got an outfielder back. There's talk that the Rays still might try and trade Randy Arozarena. I hope that that is not true. I hope that that's just a lie, but we will see. You never know with Tampa. So what they get back here is going to be Ryan Pepiot. He's the big piece, a pitcher. Good pitcher. He's had a 2.76 ERA in just 78 innings pitched, which another guy who hasn't had a whole lot of time in MLB. That's through 2022 and 2023. And Pepiot's a bit weird. Small sample. His FIP is quite high at 4.76. Quick refresher, if you don't know what FIP is, ERA is just telling you matter of fact. This is how many runs he allowed, but the FIP is what helps add context. The FIP looks at things like walks, home runs, strikeouts, things that more directly correlate to a pitcher, whereas a ground ball, it kind of depends how good of infielders you have, for example. So FIP is usually a much better measurement at looking how good a pitcher is, but again, he hasn't even had 100 innings. It's tough to say. And under the hood metrics, there is stuff to like. He is, much like Glasnow, a three-pitch guy. He's got a fastball, a changeup, and a slider. The latter two are his strikeout pitches, which he has work to do. He's only about average strikeout rate, but he does get decent whiff potential on the changeup and slider, about 33% on both of them last year. And all in all, he avoids hard hit contact, which is good. The Rays do have some good defenders out there, which does make his job easier, no doubt, for Ryan Pepio. So that's the pitcher that they're going to get back. And then they also get an outfielder, Johnny DeLuca, who is kind of interesting. I was not familiar with him at all. He was drafted originally in the 39th round in 2017, and later on in 2019, he got drafted in the 25th round. So much of a late bloomer. He wasn't a star at Oregon, where he ended up playing college, but he sure became a star in the minor leagues. He tore the cover off the baseball this year. In AAA, he had an OPS at 945, and in AA, he had an OPS at 971. 17 total home runs in minor league baseball, playing less than 80 games, so a lot of power potential here. And he did get about 45 plate appearances for the Dodgers. He came up in the summer, I believe, injury replacement, and he played pretty well. On-base percentage over 310. He had a 740 OPS. The strikeout rate was pretty low from a guy of his stature, again, not really known as a big hot commodity coming into professional baseball as a whole. So he's going to Tampa. He's an outfielder, can play all three spots, give you some versatility, and I think he's pretty interesting. All in all, just kind of a big picture thing to look at. The Rays shed salary. They get guys how they want them, that are cheap. They're pre-arbitration for a handful of years, and if they're good, well, that's what the Rays love. That's how the Rays have gotten to be as effective as they have been these last couple of seasons, this last decade, ever since 2008, really, when they first bursted onto the scene. Took a long time for that to come. But overall, I guess I would grade this pretty well for both sides. If I wanted to pick a winner at this point, it's a little bit difficult because you look at the Dodgers. Walker Buehler, he should be coming back, but he's coming off of a second Tommy John surgery. It's estimated that he will begin the season with the Major League club. Tony Gonsolin probably won't play at all next year. He had Tommy John towards the end of August. Julio Urias, who I don't really know what's going to happen with him. Of course, he has the domestic violence allegations that got brought upon and ended his 2023 season prematurely. And then Clayton Kershaw, we don't really know what's going to happen with him. I believe he had surgery. I think I heard a blurb that it went well, but there's been talk the last 5 seasons or so. Is Kershaw going to hang it up? Is he going to retire? So that's 4 pitchers that you really don't know about. And the constants that you do know about, well, Tyler Glasnow for the time being. You have Bobby Miller, Emmett Sheehan, and Ryan Yarbrough. Not exactly the group that's going to inspire confidence. But if you think about this, because the Dodgers do want to extend Glasnow, if there's a future where they can have a healthy Gonsolin, Walker Buehler, Shohei Ohtani, and Tyler Glasnow, and Bobby Miller, or Emmett Sheehan at that point, who should really start to blossom, that is a formidable rotation in Los Angeles, and you really like what you see there. So I think it's a pretty good trade on both sides. Obviously, it's going to look poor on the Rays because they're getting rid of their best players, and they clearly downgraded. If you just look, matter of fact, right now, they got worse after this trade. But we know this is the Tampa Bay style, and even though it hasn't resulted in any hardware to this point, it's at least brought them regular season wins. So let me know what you guys think down below. Trying something a little bit new on this channel. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this one, leave a like down below. Thank you all for watching.